Let's talk about some close calls in magic. It can happen to anyone. It can happen to even the most famous, most experienced, most talented magicians. The good thing about today's stories, everybody lives. But there's some seriously close calls, and are there lessons to be learned? You decide. First on the list today is a magician or illusionist named Princess Tenko. Now she was injured by 10 swords, or fake swords, that were rammed into a box while she was still inside. This happened in early 2007, and she was a very experienced performer. She had done this trick, by all accounts, many, many times. She was supposed to escape the sword box before the swords were rammed inside, or more accurately, probably climb into a thin base, aka a secret compartment under the box. Now apparently she got a little bit hung up and couldn't make all of her secret moves in time, and her assistants let the swords run through into the box. She suffered a broken cheekbone and several broken ribs by these swords being run into her, and this is one of the reasons why you use fake swords. You just use really dull swords. If they were sharp and pointy, this outcome would have been way different. If the one on her cheekbone had gone any higher, I mean, she would have lost an eye. Very serious problem that can happen, even to someone who's very skilled and had been doing this a very long time. I believe she was 59 at the time of this accident. Now, this is how tough she is. She continued on the show for 30 more minutes before she finally called it and said she couldn't finish because, well, she had broken ribs and a broken face. Crazy. Before Houdini died, he was collapsing backstage, but he still insisted on going out and doing the show. So yeah, she's got some Houdini level strength. But yeah, I mean, even someone who's been doing it a long time, it could still go wrong. It's crazy. I'm just glad it didn't get her eye, and I'm really glad she's alive. She also returned to performing like a week later. She wore like a Phantom of the Opera style mask to hide her scarring and bruising, but she carried on. I mean, that is pretty badass. If I was her, I would have been taking some time off to heal for sure, but I guess I'm just not that tough. Now let's jump ahead to 2015 and let's talk about Anthony Britton. I'm gonna read to you from his Wikipedia page, okay? Anthony Britton is an escapologist and stunt performer. In 2015, he attempted the Buried Alive Escape Challenge, making him the third person to attempt the routine in 100 years. This is very not true. Now, he says he's a professional escapologist, but that just can't be true because he did not have a strong enough coffin or casket or box or whatever he's being buried in. It wasn't strong enough to hold the 6 tons of soil that were on top of him, and they broke through and they were literally crushing him until his team decided this is bad and they dug him out. Luckily, they pulled him out. He had some broken ribs. He survived, but down there he didn't have any kind of tube for oxygen circulation or anything, and obviously not a strong enough box. It doesn't seem like he had a plan at all. I did a little bit of looking here. Alright, so let's go to Anthony Britton's website here. It says escapologist and daredevil. It's got a really cool picture on the front. And then it's got a bunch of just placeholder text. It says amazing experience. And then just like all that, like when you buy a site on like Wix or Squarespace, it just has that like auto-completing style text. It's not real text. So like, it's so weird. Okay, let me go. Okay, if I click up here to look for the contact information, it says Pro Shop and fees. I click on that. 2018 rates at Uplands Golf driving range. It's $5 for a bucket of balls at the driving range. So this is all on his website. Like, he's clearly not a professional. A cool photo and the name escapologist and daredevil does not make you a professional, especially if you're not going to do the research on how to be buried alive properly. It's one of the most dangerous stunts you can do. And I'm sorry if I seem a bit annoyed about this, but it's very annoying. This is like a stunt that Harry Houdini couldn't do. David Blaine, he did it, but with a high budget and all the knowledge in the world, surrounding himself by proper experts, and they figured it out. And yeah, he did just an amazing, amazing job of the buried alive stunt. And you know who else did it, who's not even a magician? Obviously, Mr. Beast. But you know what Mr. Beast did? Because he's got the money and the foresight, he contacted David Blaine, and he got David Blaine's people and all of their knowledge and advice and spent all of the money. And that, if you're going to do this, is the only way you can do it. Yeah, you and I cannot write Mr. Beast level paychecks, so we can't do it. Unless you can afford the best, you can't do it. I hope he realizes how much he nearly died. Like, he came so close. Let me read you a couple quotes though that make me think he might not really realize what almost happened to him here. I didn't die, which is always a bonus. Okay, I would try and make light of it too, because why not? But this is what he said at the end. I wouldn't say it was a fail. I did as well as I possibly could. I didn't escape the grave, but I'm here to tell the tale. Good attitude, Anthony Britton, good attitude, but that is a fail, big time. I mean, good for you for having a digger on standby to pull yourself out. You did have those safety precautions. You are here to tell the tale. That's awesome, but holy crap, dude. I don't know. And update your website, man. This is kind of wild. This is wild. Update the website. Thank you. All right. Hey, so I'm just editing this video right now, and I'm wondering if I'm coming across the way I mean to be. Like, I don't really want to come down on this guy so hard. I really don't. Like, just the way the YouTube culture is, social media culture, everyone trying to get a viral video, like, I just don't want people running out there trying to do this. That's all. Unless you have millions of dollars in your budget, you know, like Mr. Beast or David Blaine or whatever, and make it like the best, then just don't do it. And I just really want to get that point across. Like, unless you have unlimited bank accounts, you can't do this. That's all. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's finish with one more story of a trick gone wrong, but only partly wrong, done by the legend himself, David Blaine. David Blaine did the bullet catch in a way that no one's ever seen before. Absolutely unbelievable. And he did it on TV in 2017, and he did it by firing a .22 rifle into his mouth. Now, this wasn't really a magic trick, it was a stunt. He had a cup inside his mouth, right? And he had a gum guard holding the cup in place. The gun's gonna shoot into, and it's gonna hit inside his mouth, okay? He's wearing sunglasses and a bulletproof vest. Super safe, David. He's a pro. Doesn't mean he's always right. Doesn't mean nothing can go wrong. He's had other stunts go wrong before. But this one, I mean, you're firing a gun at your own face. He did it in every possible way to make sure no one else was going to get blamed for this. He had a laser pointing into his cup in his mouth, and he was holding a mirror so he can see it. The gun is mounted securely on this tripod system they have, and he has a string that he's going to pull, so he's the one pulling the trigger. Really cool. If he does kill himself, no one's to blame but him. That's a good move. Much respect there. Very intense, very awesome for TV, and they weren't going to let him do it. Before I get to what's wrong, let me tell you that they weren't going to let him do this on TV because they're like, you're not going to shoot yourself in the mouth no matter if you have a little cup in there or not. That's not happening. And then they have to tell the producers of the show, oh no, you think we're going to do this for real? We're not doing it for real. This is a magic trick. We're just doing a magic trick. So, because you're David Blaine, you go, oh no, it's a magic trick. Even though he is doing this legitimately, you have to tell the world, no, 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 it's just a magic trick. But between you and me, he really did shoot a gun into his mouth. Or did he? You can see in slow motion, the gun gets fired into his mouth. It shatters the gum guard. Just the speed and velocity of the bullet hitting the cup in his mouth shatters the gum guard, shooting the cup back into his mouth. And yeah, he cut his throat. Now, when they asked David Blaine afterwards, he said he had no idea what happened. He just heard this like loud noise, and he could feel the impact. And for a split second, he thought he'd shot the gun right through the back of his throat. And he was okay. I mean, he had some lacerations inside his throat and whatnot, but nothing serious. He's had worse injuries, I'm sure. But it's absolutely crazy. And this is like on TV, okay, with a huge budget and all the safety precautions in the world. And at the end of the day, you're still doing an impossibly dangerous stunt. I mean, you're shooting a gun into your own mouth. I remember when I saw this, I was so jealous of it, I guess. Like, I wanted to do it so bad. I'm so lucky I did not have these resources, because I would have probably attempted something like this, and who knows if I'd be here warning people about the dangers of doing dangerous tricks. I'd probably be on somebody else's channel. I'd be their story. So it's absolutely insane, and just one of the most fascinating things. The bullet catch has killed like 11 magicians in history, and it didn't kill you, but whoo baby. That's pushing it to the edge about as far as anyone want to push it. I might just stick to card tricks. It gets pretty dangerous out there. Take care, everybody. See you in the next one.